Good morning, good morning. Hello, hi everyone. So good to see you. Yes, I am going to tell you the name of the recipe. I've got actually a bunch of recipes and I got very ambitious about sharing some recipes with you. Hi, CCAP. I thought that I wanted to share a lot with you, but of course we don't have so much time. So I have one dessert, the most popular food over there. I have one dessert, and I have one vegetable. I have one kebab. So I have a bunch of things that I want to share with all of you and tell you about Pakistan and the food there and the spices that we use over there. So I think it should be interesting and I hope it is. So, you can keep asking questions about anything you don't understand, anything you've missed out on or I've missed out on. And we should just start in one more minute and just wait for a couple of more people to join in, and I'll keep telling you the name of the recipe. So, of course, I wrote it down, the menu over there, but of course it's not the mirror image, so you can't probably really make out what I've written over there. And I'm also making a traditional bread, which is a paratha. It's fried in ghee, lightly fried in ghee. So some fun recipes that I want to share with you. And I see lots of people are joining in, and I'm happy to be doing this today for all of you, and it's going to be a wonderful experience, I hope. So it is 10:30, so let's start. Hi everyone, my name is Kauser Ahmed and I am cooking in my Seattle kitchen. So I thought I'll just do up a little of my kitchen. I always do that if I'm doing a show or anything. I thought I will just have flowers. I love flowers, being a prop stylist and food stylist. I love little props that I collect. I will keep showing you little things. It might benefit you as well, little tips and tricks. And I'm from Pakistan. Hi, I'm from Pakistan, city Karachi, where I was born and raised. And I was born, I would say, I have a very strong influence of being raised around extremely empowered women, especially my grandmother, who has been my total inspiration throughout my journey, even though it's been a very long time since she passed away, but her memories live on and her teachings live on. She's the one who actually I grew, and I started my love of food and community and eating and feeding through her. She was an extremely empowered woman. I will just tell you very briefly about her because it's a very strong connection. And I feel that you need somebody who inspires you in life, and it is very important to keep that inspiration and that motivation going in your life throughout your career. So she migrated from India when there was partition, and she came down to Pakistan, and she was the first lady to she really believed in women empowerment and education for youth and kids. So she set up a small school in her house. She was the first woman to set up a press, and she was the first woman to launch a magazine and a newspaper for women, all about women's rights, and all positive, everything. Hi, hello. Oh, I am thoroughly enjoying this. You are most welcome, Tina. It's so good to see you all. So I was just telling everybody a little about my history. My inspiration was my grandmother, and what I loved about her most, which just kept inside of me, I think it's going to be there for the rest of my life, is that she loved her community. She loved feeding. She was an amazing cook. I learned, I was pretty small, but passed on all the amazing recipes from her. And she would go for a walk in the morning, and she would bring random, she was very friendly, and it was so safe then. She would get talking to people, and she would find somebody and who said that, oh, I'm hungry, and she would bring people home, really nice people. And what I learned most importantly was that we would there would be a long mat laid out on the floor with food on it, all kinds of food with different chutneys, and her meatballs, the beef meatballs, was so famous, and salsa and lentils and fresh tortillas coming in, and the aromas coming in, people sitting around having a conversation. So what I learned was everybody is similar, and I learned good listening. I learned stories. I learned to sit with people from all walks of life. It didn't matter what background they were from, what ethnicity, what religion they were from. So all these things just got instilled in me. And my parents were foodies, and Karachi is a cosmopolitan city where I grew up. It's a hybrid of different cultures and cuisines. And such diverse cultures, such diverse cuisines, and I have all those influences on me, and that is why I picked up a lot of cuisines from the regional cuisine, especially working in Karachi, especially with underprivileged communities of women and kids who are fishermen. Their husbands are fishermen, and I picked up the most amazing recipes. One day I will keep sharing these recipes with you, but they are phenomenal because it's a port city, Karachi. Fish and seafood has been one of our main menu items at home as growing up. So today I thought I wanted to share with you. I'll start off with the dessert because by the time we are cooking up other things, this will cook up. It takes a while. It's a carrot dessert, and a lot of people might have heard about it. A lot of people are very surprised when I have taught this in my classes, and they have loved it. That we never imagined. We've heard of the carrot cake, but we've never heard of this carrot dessert, and it's just phenomenal. And traditionally, it was always made in winter when it was winter time, and we had fresh carrots in season, and there were all the weddings in Karachi in winter. So this is like everybody has their own little tip and own little recipe to it. I'm going to share my recipe with you. So the ingredients for it is we have grated carrots over here. So I would say this is about 3 cups of carrot. Let's make it easier for you. And we have ghee. I have ghee. We use ghee over there traditionally, and ghee is clarified butter, and it is so easily made at home, and you can just make it at home. It's extremely healthy, and it's flavorful. The aroma is just phenomenal. If you don't get a chance to make it, you do get it, so it's easy to get it also. But do try and make it. It's a simple recipe with butter. If you even look online, you'll find the recipe, or if you let me know, I can send it to you. And with that, I have milk. I took 3 cups of milk over here, and I have cloves. I have 2 whole cloves. I have 3 whole cardamom pods. I have saffron, and I also have a cup of granulated sugar over here. It's a very simple recipe, but it's just the process. Typically they would make it, it would take them hours and hours, my grandma and my mom, to make this. You simply, there are 2 steps to it. So we're doing the first step. Just put in the carrots and the milk together. And we are going to let this start cooking. And these things I'm going to put on the side because we will need these in the second step. And the sugar will come in after this is cooked for at least about 20 minutes. And it's the milk is evaporating. I will tell you when. But I will add just a pinch of the saffron in this. I love the aroma of saffron. That's why I love adding it. And I've got ground cardamom as well. So these are the going to be the second steps. The first step is over here. I'm going to move this pot at the back. So, working in the kitchen, doing it professionally or at home, I think I have felt, I've always learned, even before I came into this career from my mom, that the key is to be organized. You just need to be super organized, super focused. If you're doing 4 things, you should maybe make a list. I love making lists of things, and that makes me really organized. But now I'm used to it. It's sometimes over here, the list is just up here. So the second thing that I want to share, so there's the carrot, the dessert, which is going to be cooked, and I will show you as it goes. Right now, I've put the heat on high because I want it to start cooking, and then I'm going to turn it on medium because I want it to slow cook. Now this slow cooks for hours, but I've changed around the recipes a bit, not in flavor but in timings, and you just cook this for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then I'll go on to the second step. Now the second thing I want to share with you, now these will be the spices that I would like to share with you, the kind of spices that we use over there. Now this is a dry chili pepper that is used in Pakistan, and this is called dandikat pepper, and this is spicy and nutty. It's pretty spicy. If you even take 2 and crush them and put them on top, you will get a good kick out of it. So this is grown over there, dried over there. This is like the bonnet pepper, very similar to that, and it comes in different sizes. It's usually very, very small, but I found this one. I get bags and bags of it, but I ran out of it and I found this here. And then we have the nigella seeds. So the okra, I'm going to be making the okra over here with you, and I want to make it a little achari okra, which is like a pickled flavor. That's what I love. So for that, I'm going to use the nigella seeds, and I'm going to use the black mustard seeds as well. Now, I always like to be organized and keep my spices in the jar, and I did not label these, but all my other spices, you will see that they are all labeled. I like to label them. It's easier for, if kids come over, they want to cook, or if I have my classes, it's easier for people to identify. Now the red chili powder, I would like to tell you a little about the red chili powder. As you saw that these dandikat peppers are pure, red. What are nigella seeds and what flavor do they have? They have like a pickly flavor. They are from the nigella plant, and you just dry it up and it's black like this. And when we add it in our food, the reason to add it is to give it a little pickle flavor. And it's got a sweet smell, and it's got sort of a pickle smell to it. It's got an amazing smell. If you just put this, and if you don't put the mustard seeds, that is good enough too. So the nigella seeds and the fennel seeds complement each other. Fennel, you eat fresh fennel, and that has also got a really nice sweetish smell. So these two complement each other. Yes, it is. It's more or less the same aroma. So the red chili powder we use is pure chili powder. There is nothing else mixed in it. So it's made out of these chilies, and it's completely pure. That is why it is so nice and red. So these are the spices. Any questions, I would love it. And then we've got the cumin powder, which we use. And what I like to do is, and what my grandma used to do, is dry toast it. Just in a pan, you just dry toast it on low heat. You don't want to burn it. And you will see and you will smell the aroma, the flavors just bursting. It comes out. And then we also use cumin seeds. And these also toasted are just amazing. If you Kashmiri mirach, no, this is not Kashmiri mirach, this is dandikat pepper. Kashmiri mirach is the long one, which is not very spicy. It's got more of a color to it. We add that in food. I like to add it as a paste to give food color. And then one very, very amazing spice mix is the chaat masala. So now the chaat masala is a combination of cumin powder, cumin seeds, red chili flakes, garam masala, and all these things, a combination of that. And this you can just sprinkle on vegetables or french fries or potatoes or anything, and it's just fabulous. And this is commonly found in Indian or Pakistani stores. And then we have the garam masala also. And the garam masala is pure, all the whole spices. We use a lot of the black cardamom too. So this has black cardamom, green cardamom, cloves, cinnamon, peppercorns in it, and cumin seeds in it too. So it's a combination of that. And I like to just I like to make all these things at home. I do honestly keep boxes from the store, but I like to make these spices at home. So now for the okra, what I want to show you is, let me put these back, and if anybody has any questions, I will about the spices or anything, I can keep answering them and as we go. So let me turn this high. Okay, so now for the okra, I've got the okra. I'll tell you a few tips about this too. Let me get my ingredients here. The first thing I am going to do is, now you can just use canola oil or vegetable oil. My favorite is coconut oil. You can use ghee as well. I love coconut oil. So, and I love the flavor that blends in with the okra and the spices and the coconut oil. So I would say I'm taking a heaped, this is quite a big heaped tablespoon of coconut oil. And while this starts cooking, I will tell you about the okra and how we make it and what we do before we even cut it. So in this, I sliced up about a cup of onions, just yellow onions, and I'm going to add them in here. So the okra, what is very, very important is you have to wash it even before you cut it. You have to wash it, you have to dry it, and then you cut it. So I just basically sliced off the ends. Everybody cooks in their own way. You can just chop them up really small. You can keep them whole however you want it, but just the heads, both ends, I like to cut off. So this is what I've done, and this is completely dry. So that saves it from releasing the mushy and sticky and gooey part. You can see this little hanging from here, so it will not be releasing that. So I'm just basically just cooking the onions. I just want them to be lightly brown. And the trick to cook onions and have them really nice and cooked, and to get the feel that they're cooked, is that you cook them on medium low heat. Don't be in a hurry to cook them, otherwise when you munch and take a bite, you will feel them uncooked. So I'm trying to do it a little faster because we have a lot of things to do. Now I'll tell you all the other ingredients that I have over here. So I've got, I had about ½ pound of okra, and I chopped up 1 large tomato, just roughly chopped it. I've got fresh bay leaves. Oh, I love fresh bay leaves. They are so aromatic. If you don't have it, that's fine. I had them, so I'm using them. And I've got minced ginger and garlic, and I like to use fresh turmeric. So that's my favorite. I've got fresh turmeric over here. I've got a tablespoon of lemon juice over here. So while this is frying, I am going to add a teaspoon of cumin seeds. Of course, you know, the fun part about these recipes is that you can add more or less as you please. That's totally up to you. So you don't even, you know, with the onions, there are two ways of doing it. You can lightly brown it, or you can just make them translucent. That's it. So I think they are going to be nearly done. What I'm going to add here are my bay leaves. There are about, I love bay leaves, so I'm going to add about all of them, 4 or 5 of the bay leaves. And I will add the ginger, garlic, and the turmeric over here. And now I add in the spices. Here I go with the nigella seeds. I think I just want about half a teaspoon of them. I've got the nigella seeds in here, and I will take the fennel seeds. Oh, this smells so good. As soon as you put the nigella seeds in that, it smells really good. So just stir fry it a little and let the flavors release themselves. And I like to fry my ginger, garlic, and the turmeric a little because you know, it just cooks up and the flavors really get enhanced. And I will put my mustard. I'm going to put about 1/4 teaspoon of the mustard seeds because the ratio of that should be a little less, otherwise it becomes bitter. There it goes. And then I am going to, in this I like to put in some chili flakes, so that will be about half a teaspoon of chili flakes in this. Then I've got my chili powder. This is totally up to you if you want it spicy, if you don't want it spicy. I put in about half teaspoon of that. And now my favorite is chaat masala. I don't mind putting in 1 whole teaspoon of that, so I will put that in. And now the carrots have started to, the milk is boiling, so I'm going to turn it down a little and put it on medium and just stir fry this. Now comes the cumin powder. That will be half a teaspoon. So there are many ways of making this too. I will just check on questions. And garam masala, I don't like the overpowering smell of garam masala, so that is why I'm going to add just 1/4 teaspoon of that. I don't want the food to be very spicy. Now remember that spicy doesn't mean flavorful. Less spicy can be as flavorful. I want the food to be flavorful, not very spicy. I can smell it already. Yes, with fresh basil. No, those were fresh bay leaves. Try that out. So this is just sauteing, and if you can see the color of that. And I also like to add some of my dandi cut whole peppers. You can just add the whole, because I've already added the chili flakes. I'm going to add these whole. If you want to add these, just crush them instead of the chili flakes. And then goes in the tomatoes, and there goes in the okra. So I purposely kept these flat pans only so that you are able to see this. So okra, you know, releases that lace which comes out. For the trick for that is you add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. It really adds flavor, as well as it's not sticky and lacy. So now simply cover it up, and I'm going to transfer it over here onto the other side, and I'm going to put this on 4. So it should be less than medium. So this slow cooks, no water at all. Do not put water in this. Just cover it up. And this cilantro is for just the garnishing. And there's one more thing which you can add if you like. If you don't, I've added lemon juice. Hi Mariam. I've added lemon juice in it but I always have tamarind paste at home. If you want a little more zest and to make it more juicy, you can add 1 tablespoon of the tamarind paste. I like to take the full tamarind block, which has seeds in it, and I like to soak it and just strain it out and keep the paste in a jar in the fridge. I have it all the time. We use a lot of tamarind chutney, a lot of things. So there that goes in, and this is, the carrots are cooking. Now I want to just see if there are any questions, and then I want to move in to the next phase. Okay, so we have a lot of different types of tortillas that we make, and a lot of breads that we make. We have the roti, which is made out of flour too. I'm going to be making the paratha with you, and I will show you how we make like the layered paratha, the plain paratha and the layered paratha. And then lastly, I'm going to show you how we make seekh kebabs. Now, seekh kebabs in Pakistan, oh my God, the kebabs are phenomenal, of course, but there is a huge variety of kebabs over there. Skewers are, seekh is called skewer. So I'm going to make it on this. I'm not going to grill it, but I want to show you how we make it on this. A huge variety. I could do like 10 different shows on the different types of kebabs that we make over there. So what I want to show you is, I am going to make an huge different flavors as well. I don't think I added salt in that, but I'll taste it and I'll add it later. So the kebabs that we are going to make, I've got ground chicken. We are in Pakistan are huge meat eaters. A lot of goat meat, a lot of beef, and chicken, of course. So you can have ground chicken, you can have ground beef. So I have ground chicken. This is a pound of ground chicken over here. And I have ginger and garlic paste over here, a tablespoon each. Ginger is a magical tenderizer. So it's great if you use a little more, that's even fine. And I've got chopped up green chilies. I'm using the Anaheim. You can use the jalapeno. It's the spice level that you want, totally up to you. And I've got chopped cilantro. So this is about a half a cup of chopped cilantro. And I had a big, large yellow onion, which I chopped up finely. Just dice it up finely. So like I said, there are so many different recipes of kebabs. This is just a very simple recipe that I'm sharing with you. So, and I've got breadcrumbs over here. I took 3 slices of fresh bread. It doesn't matter if it's brown bread or white bread. I had brown bread. So I just put it in the food processor and I crumbled it up, and here you go. So we are basically going to add all these things. Now for the spices in this, let me add the spices first. Salt. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon, and then of course it's totally up to you. If you like more salt, you can add more salt in it. And in this I add black pepper, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and red chili powder. Again, totally up to you how spicy you want it, because there are green chilies in it too. I just want to give it a little flavor. I don't want it to be very spicy. And I am going to add the cumin powder in it, and half a teaspoon of the cumin powder in it. So there that goes. And then the rest of the ingredients, the cilantro, the green chilies, and ginger and garlic paste, the onions. And you can marinate this a night before, but I don't recommend keeping it in the fridge for more than 12 hours. I always feel that it just becomes too moist. But this can be frozen too. I sometimes my mom always made kebabs and she froze them. So we always had kebabs in the fridge. So I'm going to start mixing it. And so you might think that, oh gosh, these breadcrumbs are too many. No, they're not. They will just disappear. and your kebabs will be so nice and moist and tender. So you just keep mixing this. In fact, I had my, oh well, you won't be able to see it if I put it in a deep bowl. So I am just going to try and accommodate this. And this keeps going. And mix it all together. Put this on the side. And then I will clean up. My grandma always used to say, clean up as you go. So that's the best way of going, right? When you have a lot of work in the kitchen, just keep cleaning up as you go. Even if you don't get time to wash the dishes, just keep them on the side in one place and keep your workstations or your home kitchen clean. You know, with all this isolation, everybody has been cooking so much, and you all have been home too and cooking, and I hope learning a lot and reading a lot, because reading is like magical. If you're in the culinary field, then you need to be reading a lot about, do a lot of research. There's no end to reading. So I'm just going to punch it down a little and mix it, and I am going to put this on the side. Okay, and then we will make it in a bit. You let it rest, and if you want to put it in the fridge, you can do that too, but I'm not putting it in the fridge. I'm just going to wash my hands. Hi. Oh, okay, nice. Okay, let me quickly wash my hands and I'll be back in a second, and then I will clean up over here. I don't really have a huge workstation in my kitchen, so you know, I hope you all can see and understand what I'm doing over here. So let me just clean this up, get this out of the way. And then the last thing that I want to, I hope this is cooking. Yeah, it is cooking. All right, so the last thing that I want to show you is the paratha. It's so exciting to make this paratha. Always very, very exciting. Now for this, I had to get a deep bowl. I have 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I make it a lot with whole wheat flour. I ran out of it, and the one I had was just too coarse. I didn't want to use that. Sometimes I use 2 cups of whole wheat flour and 1 cup of all-purpose flour. So it's totally up to you. Today this is all-purpose flour. So 2.5 cups of that, and I am going to add in a quarter teaspoon of salt in it. And this is an amazing dough. And then I am going to add, so now I have ghee over here again. This is the ghee I had made and kept over here. You can use ghee. If you don't have ghee, you can just use oil. That's fine. So I'll use about 1 teaspoon of ghee in this, and let me get these dirty dishes out of the way. And then I have water over here, which is this is about 1.5 cups, but I'm not going to be using all of this. Now I'm going to start mixing this just with my fingertips for now and get this going. And this dough, you can make this even a day or two earlier and keep it in the fridge in a cling wrap. And when you want to actually make the parathas, you bring it to room temperature. Just leave it on the table or the counter, bring it to room temperature, and then make it. Otherwise it becomes really hard because of the ghee. You can even add butter in it if you don't have oil. So now the kind of dough we want is like a medium soft dough. It shouldn't be very hard. It shouldn't be very, very soft. So that is why you just keep adding water as you go. And I will show you how it is. And yeah, I hope you guys will all try this. So I can see that the carrots are cooking over there. I just want that to dry up. So what I'm going to do while I'm doing this, remember I did not add the sugar to the carrots. I'm going to add the sugar right now. There it goes, and I will stir that later. So it was just the saffron, milk, carrots in there. Okay, so here we go. So these parathas are traditionally made on weekends. And oh, I will show you the food. Of course, I will show you all the food once it's cooked. I'll just show it to you, Laurie. Hello. So these parathas, my grandma and my mom would make it on weekends with a traditional omelette of onion and cilantro and green chili and red pepper. Just so amazing. This has become a very, very popular street food over there now. And we have it just with our chai that we make. So that the cardamom tea. Have you ever had the cardamom tea? I'm sure you have. It's delicious. So now I am just pressing it to get all the dry flour, because as you can see, this is already soft. I don't want to add more moisture to it. And the trick is to knead it. Keep doing this, and there you go. This is nearly done. So this too, you should make it, and you can just cover it with a towel and let it rest for at least 15 minutes, if not 30 minutes. If you get more time, that's great. So I'm just going to knead it because I want it to be a smooth texture. And you can always sprinkle a little flour if you think it's a little sticky. And there you go. And it's become a little more smoother. Just a little more flour. And it's become a little more smoother. I'm going to put this on the side, and I'm going to wash my hands and quickly be back. Alright, let me see how the okra is going. So I've got the okra cooking over here, and if you can see, it is cooking away. Oh, I can smell the pickled flavor in it. Smells really good. And I am just going to turn the heat high. It's not really high, it's on medium now. It was on 4, so I've turned it on medium. I'm just going to stir the carrots because they are nearly done, and that is the last thing that I'm going to do to show you. Just keep all this there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is quickly the kebabs. Yum, yum, yum. We are going to get back to the kebabs. Now the kebabs, of course, they should be originally grilled. I'm not doing that. And we love our barbecues in Pakistan all the time. A lot of barbecue, especially in winter. I mean, all the year round. That's a favorite street food as well. So I am just going to pan fry these. You can bake them also just on 400 degrees Fahrenheit. How I like to do is on my tray, I like to put foil on it, and I like to grease it a little, just sprinkle oil on it, and then put the kebabs on it. They turn out better. That's my way of doing it. So I'm just going to add oil in this. I'm just going to pan fry the kebabs and show you. Now the main thing over here is to see how we work with the skewers. And I've got one over here. If you don't have these, oh, where did it go? You can just use a chopstick. A lot of people in my classes, they use the chopstick. So here are the kebabs. I've got some oil in this little bowl over here, just vegetable or canola oil. And I am going to mix these up a little more. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to grease your hands, palms, fingertips really well, and then grease the skewer. So, I mean, you don't, I'm just going to bake it or I'm going to fry it. You don't have to skewer it also. If you're just going to make it at home, you just take a big chunk of the meat mixture. But remember, the trick is that you press it. Can you see how I'm doing it? Just keep pressing it. This really binds it well together and there are no cracks on it. And then you just roll it. This is if you are not using the skewer. Even if I'm just baking it, I just love to serve it like that because you, the skewer, little holes on the side just look so cute. So if you are not, so you can just keep going. And as you can see, it's not sticking because I've got oil on it. And then you just roll it a little more with your hands and there you go. So this is not with the skewer. I'm just going to put it in here. Is it heating up? Yes. Now I'm going to do the real thing. Again, I'm going to just grease my hands a little and there you go. So they traditionally, when you go out to eat this, the street side food, they have these huge skewers and they put about 5 or 6 of these kebabs on it. Now I've, pressed it to make it really nice and smooth and I don't want it breaking. And I'm going to just put it here and I'm going to press this in there and keep folding it and pressing it, making sure that it is going around the skewer. And if there are, so there you go. And then you just simply pull it out and there you go. This is what I like. I like that little skewer hole over here. That's why I like to do these. Just being fancy at home too. When serving, you have to, I love entertaining and entertaining has stopped of course, but then I'm happy to be doing this over here with all of you. So now the heat is going to go on medium again because they cook really fast, and especially because this is chicken. I'll just cook up about 2 or 3 and I'll show you, and then I'll quickly move on to the paratha. All right, so there you go. And you can just, fix it if you like. One last one because I just want to plate it up and show you quickly as well. And after this, I will wash my hands and I will make the paratha. I can smell the okra. It smells so good. So the variety of kebabs that I said, like I said, are dozens and dozens. With the local food over there, the regional food, it's called Sindhi and Punjabi and Pashtun and Afghani, a lot of Afghani recipes. So this is cooking here. I'll make the rest later. Washing my hands and coming back. All right, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to let this fry. My stove just goes on a little higher than I like it to go. So I've turned it on 3 actually. So let me get this out of the way. And I am getting my dough over here. Yeah, it is delicious. So what I want to show you is that we have these skillets which are called tawas. I mean, you can just cook it in the frying pan. That's not a big deal, but I'm just showing you. And they are pretty big. This is a little tiny one that I found because I love making parathas this side. size. So while this is cooking, I might move this back, and I want to move the parathas over in the front so that you can see it. Let this cook over there. Okay, it's a little tight squeeze, that's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to sprinkle a little flour because it's best if you let this sit for a while. Now with this you get about, with the 2.5 cups of flour, you usually get about 8 parathas. It all depends on the size. So I want to show you, I'm going to show one. I'll make one. I don't want a very big one because that is a little small. So let me get this out of the way. So again, you know, before you do that, you really knead this well, and to make it smooth, press it again and roll it, because this is how it becomes smoother. Oh, the okra is nearly done. This is how it becomes smoother. Are you cooking on induction cooktop? Yes, I am. Okay, so now for this I have my ghee over here. I have 2 ghees over here. Okay, I have my ghee over here. So the trick to this is, I have my little flat, I have a lot of fancy rolling pins, but I love this $1 rolling pin I got from an Asian store. It just rolls it up so evenly. It is easy, it's not difficult. That's the main idea, right? That's what I like to show. That's how I work on my recipes. I want these recipes to be so easy for everyone. This is not difficult. So I did not put a towel under this, which I should actually, this one, because it's slipping away. All right, okay, let's get this going. So just rolling this, so this $1 rolling pin is fabulous. I love collecting rolling pins, and I love collecting props. I am so sad all the thrift stores are closed. Everything is closed. So now you just want to roll it out this much at this point, because just take about half a teaspoon. Let me get my knife. I have a knife over here. You just take about half a teaspoon of the ghee, or if you're using butter, just use that. I'm going to spread it on this. Now I'm showing you the layered paratha. If you're not making a layered paratha, you just roll this out into a tortilla and you just fry it on that with the ghee. That's it. But I'm making the layered, which is called a lachha paratha. Now what you do is that you start rolling it out. I'm going to start from my side. Just keep going, and just seam side down. Just start rolling and stretching it. You just roll it and you stretch it. Don't worry about this. This will not open up. And my kebabs are frying. Just want to check on them, and I will show them to you. Oh, they're frying well. Turn this heat up a little. Okay, so once you've made this a little thin like this, you start rolling it. Hope you can see. Start rolling it, and when you come to the edge, just make sure that you tuck this in. Just tuck this in at the bottom. And now you will need some flour. Just get that, not too much. I sprinkle too much, and you just roll it out. So you just keep flipping and rolling, flipping and rolling. When I was small, I used to make these all the time, and this was like a favorite when on weekends, especially when I was bugging my mom. She would give me this small rolling pin with a very small board, and I would sit and make the tortillas, or I would sit and make the rotis. And I think I probably 6 or 7 years old that I started doing this, and I would just love, I was so fascinated, and I would make all these shapes. Not that I don't still make them. I would make all these shapes, and my mom would ask me, okay, so which map is this? Which country is this? So it was funny, but I loved it. So now you want to roll it out. The parathas are not very, very thin. I'm rolling it out. I'll just show it to you. Okay, there you go. You can make them a little thick or you can make them a little thin, but I like them in between. So about just a 1/4 inch, that's it. And turn this down because this is a little high right now. I'm going to put some ghee on this, and I'm going to put my paratha on this. And I'll show you a trick my grandma always did. I'm going to fry in this. Yum, yum, yum. So my grandma always had a clean towel when she was making her tortillas and her roti, and she would just press the clean towel, press this like this, and she would say that it cooks evenly from all sides when you do this. So you can just use a tong, or you can use this spoon and flip it around. And you know, it's totally up to you if you want more ghee, but I think there's plenty of ghee on that. Now this is cooking, and this is nearly done. Just want to finish quickly and show you. I'm going to open this up and show you. Ooh, that looks good. Now the okra, you want it to be, I don't like it mushy. I like it to be soft and maybe just a little bite to it. That's how I like it. Some people like it mushy. That's fine. I'm going to turn this side. Okay, my kebabs are done. I'm going to turn that off, and I will show you how the kebabs are doing just in a minute. Just get this done, and then I will dish this out and I will show you. So the tomatoes, some of them are chunky. I just love the flavor this brings together with all the spices and the onions. We eat a lot of raw onions, by the way, with our food. So we love just garnishing and make. Oh, so I think this is a little dry from this side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some ghee on top, and I will flip it again. There you go. So this is nearly done, and this is also done because I can see some of them, you know, they cook up really fast. You can see some of them breaking up. I'm going to get these things out of the way. In the meantime, just clean up where, oh, my cloth is right here. Get this out of the way too, so that I can show you things now. Okay, get all these things out of the way, and the paratha is nearly done. Oh, look at that! It's nice, looks nice and crispy. So that I have my beautiful, I like to use platters with neutral colors. Always brings out the food more. I'm going to turn this off because this is done. You know, at this stage you can just press it a little to make sure it's cooking. Yeah, it's nearly done. I'm going to dish this out, and if you can see, looks beautiful. And I will just sprinkle it with